Oh, namaste, and thank you for being here. So I'm Shira, yoga teacher, yoga therapist, and Ayurvedic wellness educator. And today we're talking about falling in love because that's what's happening to me. And it's a very interesting thing because lots came up, obviously, or is coming up. And I started to study the science of it because it got a bit out of control for my feeling. So, because it's spring, it's natural to want to fall in love in this time. Maybe you get those feelings already with your partner, or you're looking for a partner, and so it can be quite intense. And I haven't had a love story for a very long time, 9 years, and I wasn't looking for one, but I decided last year, this year, I want to find someone, and I have found someone, so I'm very happy for myself, and I'm happy for whoever's in love. And so, falling in love, there are many emotions that arise because it's deep, it's intimate, it's intense, and we go into the deepest part of ourselves when we start to fall in love. And especially when you're conscious and when you've done a lot of work on yourself, and like myself, I haven't had a relationship for such a long time. When you do have a relationship again, on this level, all the things arise that you've experienced in the past for you to look at again so that you make conscious choices and don't repeat what you've done before. So, the feelings that arise in the beginning of our falling in love stages, there's three kind of stages, and one of the stages is just that physical attraction where you know, okay, I want to have something with this person. You can sometimes hear it in their voice or see it in their eyes. Okay, and this is more the testosterone period where there's a strong attraction, especially for women. The testosterone really levels up, and then there's attraction, magnetism, that feeling of high, and it's very exciting. But it can get to a point, especially, I don't know if you've heard of the attachment systems. So this is a really good book. I'll just hold it here so it's not in the light. It's about different kinds of styles of attachment. So if you have a secure attachment, which most people apparently do, more than 60% of the people in the world have secure attachment, which meant that when they were little, their carers looked after them, understood their needs, desires, and wants, and made them feel safe when they needed that. So when you don't have that, you can have a parent who anxiously relates to you or doesn't pick up on your signals, or does sometimes and not other times. That can make you an anxious, attached person. And then you have the avoidant attachment. So an avoidant attachment had pretty much most of his needs weren't taken care of, or her needs weren't taken care of. So then we become avoidant because we think we just have to figure it all out by ourselves. And these people usually do everything on their own. So I have a mix of the two, avoidant and attached, anxious attachment styles. So that makes it that sometimes I'm very in love, and the other times I don't even want to see them when I'm with them. Okay, but I've worked through a lot of that in the last 9 years. And now everything is coming up that's even deeper, that's under the surface. So what I was looking up was I had a lot of anxiety, I had a lot of obsessive thoughts that I wanted to see all the time. If he'd written insomnia, I couldn't sleep well. So these things get too extreme. It can be fun in the beginning, but when it lasts for weeks, you stop to want to eat, you don't feel good, you can't think straight, you can't work. So this is too much. And what happens emotionally? So we're feeling all these things. What's happening on a hormonal level? This is the link that I'm finding, that as long as we know what emotions we're feeling, we can figure out which hormones are out of balance, and then we can eat the right foods, do the right breathing exercises to bring those hormones back into balance. So what's happening? What's happening when we're at this really high stage of, it's not just physical attraction now, it's also emotional attraction and maybe sexual attraction. So what's happening is the hormones of adrenaline and cortisol, the ones that keep us awake and get us excited and give us lots of energy, they're also the ones that make us fight or flight. Okay, so these increase in huge amounts, They keep us really awake, but they also make us really curious about this other person, and they increase our attraction to a very acute level. So adrenaline and cortisol have gone high. Okay, that's one of them. The next thing that's happened is dopamine is really high as well. So dopamine is our hormone for reward and pleasure when we enjoy something. Okay, so this increases our magnetism to this person. It makes us really intensely attracted to this person. So we seek to connect with them more. We try and see them more often, or we want to speak to them, or we want to connect to them in some way. And what happens then is, as well as the high dopamine, high cortisol, high adrenaline, serotonin falls down. So serotonin is the mood regulator in our mind. Makes us feel good. It lets go of things so that we can enjoy. But when this goes down, so we're not enjoying, but we're still seeking this connection, we become obsessive. So low serotonin is connected to depression, connected to anxiety, connected to obsessive thoughts, so OCDs, obsessive compulsive disorders. This is when serotonin is low. Okay? So, what can we do about this? So food is a really important one. For the hormones to be healthy, we need lots of protein. So a lot of vegetarian people probably struggle more with these kinds of feelings, the extreme anxiety or anxiousness, because we're not getting enough protein. So I love to eat cheese and eggs, and I suggest, even if you're vegan and if you're noticing there's a lot of anxiety, you can't get certain proteins from your vegetables and legumes unless you eat a lot of nuts. Okay, so nuts have those proteins, but not in big quantities like eggs and cheese do. So that's one thing you can do. You can do breathing exercises and poses. So the poses that will increase the feel-good hormones and your serotonin are any kind of back bends where you're opening the chest and you're breathing fully. This will increase the serotonin. Why? Because what happens when you breathe fully, it starts to regulate the hormones that increase the promotion of good balance within the hormones. Sorry, just got lost there. The last stage of falling in love is the oxytocin and vasopressin. Okay, so oxytocin is that love drug that when we have a baby usually, or when we make love, or we're holding someone that we really love, we cuddle someone we know well and we feel safe with, that's when we get the oxytocin. So those are the last stages of falling in love. And vasopressin is for longer attachment. This is when we feel connected and we bond with the person for a long time. So that happens later in the falling in love process after months. Hopefully not too late when we're going through all the anxiety. Okay, so what we can do to increase the serotonin and bring down the adrenaline. So bringing down our adrenaline and our cortisol, we want to think about anything that brings our nervous system down. So coming into that vagal nerve again. So think about extending that out breath. How can you extend that out breath in an easy, fun way? You turn on some music where someone sings and lengthens that last sound. You're really increasing the out breath that way, and at the same time you're getting rid of any nervous tension within the body. Okay, by vibrating using sound, you release tension in the nervous system. Another way we can do it is Brahmari. So Brahmari is the bumblebee breath. We'll do a few rounds in a minute. And it's a humming sound. It's the same effect as the chanting or singing. You are increasing the out breath. You are using a sound to vibrate the nervous system. And so this calms you down. And you can just do 10 rounds and it's really effective. A really good breath, which is also good for addiction, is breathing in for 5, holding for 5, breathing out for 5. Okay? This gives us that rush, that oxygen that we need to produce and promote the production of serotonin and dopamine in the right levels, because these work together, serotonin and dopamine. When dopamine increases, serotonin decreases. So you want to regulate them. So we can do this with this breath, 5 in, holding 5, and then exhaling 5. That brings those levels back to a kind of more stable ratio. What else? Oh yes, so stimulating your intestines, because our gut is where we produce more than 60% of our hormones. So also serotonin, dopamine, melatonin even is not produced so much in the brain as in the gut. That's why your gut is so important. That's why eating healthy is so important. That's why not eating sugar is so important because it destroys the microbiome. It destroys the natural pH levels, and therefore your body can't produce the right hormones because it's being made in your belly, in your stomach and intestines. So anything that moves the intestines, dancing, running, jogging, climbing, you can do a lunge. You know, let me just do it here. A lunge like this, and then you jump, because what it's doing is activating your intestines. They're being massaged. Okay, so just doing that 5 minutes, it's going to get that blood circulating into the intestines. It's going to clear and cleanse, and then start to be able to produce better hormones in the gut. Okay, anything else? No, and we'll just end then with this Brahmari, very short practice. So just make yourself comfortable, take any position to sit, allow yourself first to arrive, feeling your feet, your sitting bones, making a connection to the floor or the chair, wherever you're sitting on the bed. Relax those shoulders and lift up your chest. So let's open that chest first. Feel the skin of your chest becoming broad, rolling the shoulder blades down your back. Lift the rib cage, the front and the back, away from the pelvis, away from your hip bones. And just release the shoulders, let them become broad on the top. Feeling your face. Feel that skin on the face just becoming soft and dropping. Imagine it becoming broad. And then become aware of your eyes. You can have them open or closed, but feel if your eyes are looking intensely inwards or they're just gazing gently. So try and have that gentle gaze. This will also just release the mind from this focus, which is also, again, activating adrenaline and cortisol, which you don't want to activate in the evening. Okay, it's good in the morning or early afternoon, that's fine. Okay, and then just feel your tongue, let it drop to the bottom of the jaw. And then feel your belly, feel the breath moving in the belly and the chest. And now with the next out breath, I want you to completely empty from the belly, really pressing everything together, emptying. And with an in breath, just let the breath come in by itself, relaxing the lungs and the belly. And again, breathing out, emptying fully. Squeeze the lungs, the belly. We keep that chest lifted. One more time. And breathing out. And we're going to do a mudra, so just very simple one. All your fingers touching and your thumbs touching. You make like a triangle. You just put it in front of your belly. Okay, take another breath in. Hold that breath. Breathing out. And breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in. Hold the breath. And out. And in. And hold. And out. Last round, breathing in, hold, and out. And release. And just notice how you're probably a lot more settled. Just something simple like that. Okay, so now we'll do Brahmari. We'll just do 3 rounds. And you can extend that for up to 10 rounds or 20 rounds. You can do that multiple times. So this isn't just for falling in love. This is just when we're anxious, when we can't sleep, when we feel depressed, okay, serotonin, or when we have obsessive thoughts, when we feel distracted, we can't think straight. So all of these things, you can use these 2 practices and what I mentioned before, okay? So taking a breath in, we're going to close, you can close your ears so that you really hear the vibration of Brahmari. I'll just do it while you can listen to me before you plug your ears, just breathing out. You want to hum like this bumblebee when you hear him coming towards you, okay? So you close the ears. You can close your eyes, you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable with it. But the closing of these orifices is just that you can really go into that sound. You want to extend it, you want to feel it. If you can keep it down, the sound, and keep it smooth, that's even better. But otherwise, just focus on smooth. Because if sometimes you go down in volume and it goes bumpy. So you want to have it smooth, okay? Take a deep breath in, closing the ears and the eyes if it's comfy. And that's it. So thank you for being here. I hope you learned something. Leave your comments and let me know what you want to know. Okay, bye. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Be well.